Get ready for UFC 298, the second UFC event of 2024, promising to be a spectacular showdown in Anaheim, featuring a main card bursting with top-tier talent, including the much-anticipated clash between Volkanovski and Topuria. This event is set to be an unmissable one for all UFC fans. The main event will be featuring none other than the great Volk, returning to the division he dominated for a while now. The co-main event could be the highlight of the night, with third-ranked middleweight Bobby Knuckles battling sixth-ranked Paulo Costa. Expect a high-energy, stand-up fight. In the Bantamweight division, top prospect Merab Dvalishvili, known for his formidable grappling and endurance, faces former champion Henry Cejudo in his return from retirement. Welterweight category, undefeated Ian Garry takes on the powerful Jeff Neal. Garry, once a fan favorite, now needs to show he's still at the top of his game while facing plenty of criticism from the fans. And much more to look forward to. Welcome to the UFC 298 Inside Look. Let's get started. The great Volkanovski will be making his return to the featherweight division since his attack at the lightweight belt against the more and more dangerous #1 pound-for-pound UFC fighter Islam Makhachev. Despite the vicious setback he had in his previous fight, he has a perfect record at featherweight that is nothing short of fucking nuts. However, Volk won't be facing any chump. He will have a tough challenge ahead of him in the form of a hungry Ilia Topuria. Volk versus Topuria. Volk has not lost in this division, as he comes into this one riding a 16-fight winning streak, and in this time frame, he has successfully defended his title 5 straight times in this division. His striking is absolutely impeccable, with a major strike differential of +3 per minute. The best in featherweight history. Across the octagon, we go to Ilia Topuria, an undefeated challenger who has sent shockwaves in his 6 UFC fights. Topuria has shown his ground skills and his striking, as well in being dangerous wherever the fight goes. In his last fight against Josh Emmett, Topuria showed off his striking as he outstruck Emmett 171-89. Both Volk and Topuria are skilled strikers, masterful wrestlers and grapplers, and, most importantly, both are ready to die in the cage. Will Volk's calm approach and insane fight IQ add another win under his belt, or will the young Georgian hand out Volk's first loss in the featherweight division? We will have to wait and see. Neal versus Garry. In the welterweight division, UFC 298 brings an interesting matchup as the undefeated Ian Garry faces off against one of the most formidable gatekeepers in the UFC, Jeff Neal. Ian Garry, once a fan favorite for his charismatic personality and impressive performances, has recently seen a shift in public opinion, to say the least, mostly due to his fault. Ian Garry has been found out to be, well, how do we say this? A cuck. And the UFC fans and fighters didn't hold anything back. Despite this, Garry's talent within the cage remains undeniable. He has demonstrated exceptional striking skills and a high fight IQ, making him a serious contender in the welterweight division. Who knows? He might be able to regain at least some of the respect the fans had for him until recently. That being said, Jeff Neal presents an entirely different energy. Known for his power and striking ability, Neal marks a threat to the perfect record that Garry claims going into Sunday night's showdown. The middleweight division will have a show of its own, with the highly explosive Robert Whittaker taking on the brick shithouse that is Paulo Costa. If Costa doesn't pull out, that is. Until then, we can expect a striking showdown where more than likely Costa will be pressing on while Whittaker tries to keep distance to blitz in and out with a combo of his own. Whittaker is well known for his explosiveness, closing the gap, and his ability to adapt to his opponent's style. But he will need to do his best to dodge the heavy hands of the Brazilian powerhouse into the table. It's pressure. He's always trying to close the distance and looks for an early finish. Has Whittaker had enough time to recover from the Duplessis fight where he got finished? Or will Costa be the second nail in the coffin for Whittaker? Cejudo versus Merab. Up next is a crucial bantamweight battle between Merab Dvalishvili and two-division former champion Henry Cejudo. It's a fight we have seen time and time again. A fight between a rising talent and an experienced ex-champion. Dvalishvili has been making waves in the bantamweight division, with his unrelenting pace and grappling skills that can break down even the most experienced of fighters. Dvalishvili is also, unlike Cejudo, becoming a darling of the fans. Why? First of all, the dude likes to have fun. But he is also humble, very hardworking, and a freaking machine when he enters the cage. He also speaks his mind when it counts.
When I born 1991, they occupied this. Once again, I'm gonna say that Russia is occupied. And
Cejudo, on the other hand, is a veteran and former Olympian wrestler that adds octagon experience as well as power striking to the setup. Fans generally don't like Cejudo because they think he's a bit cringeworthy. I mean, the man is called the king of cringe. His attempts to be funny or entertaining often miss the mark. Fans think he's trying too hard rather than being genuinely funny. Also, his decision to semi-retire as a way to get more pay didn't go over well with many fans. They see this as him playing games with the sport and showing that he cares more about money than truly being the champ he thinks he is. Nonetheless, both of these guys are top-notch when it comes to grappling and aren't too shabby when it comes to striking. Let's hope they leave it all in the ring. Anthony Hernandez versus Ikram Aliskerov. Another treat on the UFC 298 card is the middleweight fight between Anthony Hernandez and Ikram Aliskerov. Both fighters bring their unique strengths to the octagon. There's a lot of buzz around Aliskerov, and for good reason, or even Khabib. This is because Aliskerov's grappling is amazing, and he's really good at controlling his opponents on the ground, just like Khabib. Aliskerov has shown his skills in both grappling and striking. We would have to say that he fights more ruthlessly than Khabib and goes for the kill much sooner. He's up against Anthony Hernandez, who's also tough and skilled. Hernandez is known for his endurance and being good all around in fighting. He shouldn't be overlooked. UFC 298 will definitely be an interesting card and might shape the future of the featherweight and welterweight divisions. That's why we have prepared for you a few other videos that go deeper into some of the topics we couldn't cover in this video. Will Topuria become the king of the featherweight division? We go over and analyze Topuria's skill set, game plan, how he got to where he is now, and, of course, his chances against the great Volk. How Costa made a career out of pulling out. Fights, that is. Why does everyone hate Ian Gary? All this and more is what you can find on our channel. Stay tuned.